Briggsy's laughing. I got Briggs to laugh. I got Briggs to laugh. He is hiding behind.
He's hiding behind and I don't blame him
Why?
for laughing and potentially being slightly. Well, maybe it's not as bad to be the editor as I'm thinking it would be with that.
Why is that?
So the whole reason that they use a clapper when you're on
marker.
a television set or right.
Yes.
And you do one big, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why that is done?
So you know where to go back and edit?
Is so you can sync multiple cameras and sound. Because there's very often one predominant mixed soundtrack, audio track of all the voices, and cameras may all start at different times, and you want to be able to mouth sync to make sure that the speech, the moving of the lips and the sound all match up, right? You ever seen that where
like
their
old
mouth,
Godzilla movies,
right?
And that's what comes to mind.
It's horrible.
Way, way, way back in the 60s, 70s.
Exactly.
Yes.
But if you see that today, it's laughable.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Back then, it was what it was. But now that's absolutely laughable. And so you use the clapper to sync everything up. So when there's multiple, that potentially made syncing slightly more difficult. So that's what I was laughing at.
Oh, I wonder what Briggs was laughing at. I have no idea, but he hides behind a monitor, so I don't get to see. I just know that I was clapping and trying to do the marker, and you guys were laughing because you're like, that is not loud enough. I thought it was just a visual.
No, because
it has to have a sound?
there's visual. It helps with the sound too.
Okay.
Because you're trying to match sound with the visual, right? So you listen for the smack of the hands together.
Yeah.
And you match the audio of this with the visual of this.
Okay. I'm not the editor.
So
maybe that's why he was laughing, because I made his life really hard.
Obviously.
Yeah. He's probably like going, she did it again. She's making my life harder. I try not to, but it is a gift. I do have a gift. Speaking of gifts, have you in the Hiller household had anything fun lately going on? You guys, I feel like y'all have been busy.
Yes, we have been busy in some sense, but it's just kind of our norm in another sense. I think the one thing that maybe would be a little bit more unique, different, fun, whatever is, my wife just had a birthday not long ago.
Yes,
and
she
so
did.
we celebrated a birthday, and she borrowed a page out of your book.
Oh.
And it wasn't just a birthday day.
Oh, come on, girl.
I think we had a birthday week.
Yay, Susie! Right? I'm so proud. I am not marking. I am clapping. For the record.
So her birthday fell on a Thursday.
Yes.
This year. And the Sunday before, she has been a big fan of Jeremy Camp and his music for decades.
Okay.
When he was fairly new on the scene, she was a big fan of his and has been pretty much ever since. And so he was in town doing a concert. And I thought this was interesting. He said at the show, this was the first time in 20 years that he headlined his own concert in Nashville.
Wow.
Like he's performed in Nashville before, but as a part of other events and things and, maybe a conference or different things like that. But the first time that he headlined a concert tour in his hometown of Nashville in 2 decades.
I know artists don't like to play Nashville.
Yeah.
Especially, and I can speak to the Christian music industry, like they're just not fans of playing in Nashville. And the reason, I suspect, is in this area, you can hear great music just about anywhere. And because of that, people won't pay ticket prices.
Right.
Unless you're huge.
Unless you're a megastar.
And when the big people come to Bridgestone Arena, I think it's called, in Nashville, but they're not even probably living here. They're coming from outside to play Bridgestone, but it's really tough to do events around here. And if you want to hear some of the great Christian artists, they're oftentimes leading worship at churches around the area.
Right.
So you can just go listen to good music there and participate in worship. But, so it is tough. Was it well attended?
It was. It was pretty well attended.
I'm so glad.
But what I thought was interesting was that we, with intentionality, bought seats balcony front row,
Nice.
because unobstructed view, you're
Yeah.
high enough up, you can see the whole stage. One of my kids plays drums,
Mm-hmm.
and he always wants to see the drummer. In fact, where we sit in church every Sunday, he is always wanting to sit in a particular area of
Sure.
the church so that he has line of sight
Nice.
to the drummer and see what he's doing. And so we bought those seats with intentionality.
Yep.
Right. And then a few days before the concert, I don't know if it was, I think it was an email or maybe it was, through the app that she got the tickets, got notification that we were upgraded.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I mean, those are good seats.
Yeah. I mean, we were happy with those seats.
Okay.
Right. They were picked with intentionality, but
Yep.
we're like, all right, well, I guess if you want to give us a free upgrade.
Come on.
So they dropped us down to the mezzanine level
Yeah.
and put us along the side on the edge where you couldn't see half the stage,
Wait a minute.
and definitely could not see the drummer.
How is that an upgrade?
That was my question.
Who needed the seats that you bought originally?
That was my next question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're like, okay, the supposed upgrade actually was a downgrade.
That certainly was a downgrade.
Right. And man, that got me thinking that night, like, what are the things in life that you're told are an upgrade, but actually end up being a downgrade? But that's another podcast for another day.
There's a list.
So we were going to go back to the ticket office, but happily found someone who could help us and say, hey, we got moved and the seats are actually worse. Can we go back to our original seats? They're like, no, you can't.
Oh.
Someone else is in those seats.
Of course they are.
Right? So you're like, oh, who did we get bumped for?
Yep. That happened.
That was my question.
I am
We
absolutely
got
sure you
bumped
did.
for somebody else, and I don't know who it was. And at one point, we heard one of the ushers say that they closed the balcony, and that was just for friends and family. But I don't think that was true, because I know that there were a lot of friends and family down on the floor in the first handful of rows, including our producer Briggs over there.
Yeah, he had some good seats.
Yeah.
It's funny. I found out you both went to this concert like after the fact. You all found out after the fact. You didn't even know the other one was there, right?
Nope.
That's fun.
Nope. And so, because, we both show up bleary-eyed the next day to record podcasts.
Why are you
and you're like, we're tired because we were. Oh, you were too? Yeah. They had really good seats.
They did. It's who you know, dude.
Exactly. And had I known that he was down there on the floor in the first handful of rows with a couple empty seats around him, I would have been texting saying, yo, Briggs,
right?
How can we get down there?
You got anybody? See, this was what happens. Friends should text friends and let them know they're going to Jeremy Camp concert.
Yeah.
Was it a good show, though?
It was a very, very good show.
And did you end up getting a decent?
So we got put back in the balcony, but instead of front row center, we got fourth row.
Oh, okay.
So not horrible.
You didn't go tap the person on the shoulder and say,
hey, who are you?
What's your name?
And why did you bump us?
That's right.
Who bumped? Yeah, who bumped? Who gave you those seats?
I'll bet they didn't ask for them, but I'm sure that you were bumped.
I think so, too.
So good show, though.
It was a really good show.
That's fun.
So, it was cool. And I don't know this because I've not seen the show elsewhere, but, his wife Adrienne came out and did some songs with him. Wouldn't surprise me if that's part of the regular tour. I don't, maybe not. But his daughters came out on one or two songs and did that with him. And that was neat. I think that was special. I think they're college.
Okay. All right.
Right. I'm like, wow. I remember when those girls were like born and really little. And now they're college age girls out there on the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad it was a good show. I mean, that's disappointing when you purposely pick out the tickets and you get told you get an upgrade only to find out
it's not an upgrade.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I'm glad it was a good show.
It was.
That's fun. That's super fun.
That was a lot of fun.
What else?
And then we celebrated her birthday at your house.
Yes.
On her actual birthday.
Which kind of worked out because we called a business meeting, right?
We did.
And it was crazy. That was a team meeting, and I was texting everybody to try to figure out when we could get together.
Yeah.
One day in April. So, of course, I tried for weekends, just seeing if we could make that happen. And
nope.
Nobody could. So, I mean, it'd be one family or the other. Couldn't do this weekend. Finally, we narrowed it down to a Thursday. And then I think a member of the Briggs family had to say they wouldn't go attend a practice so that we could get this done. And it happened to be Susie's birthday.
Right.
So we got the business done and we got to celebrate her birthday. So it was nice to have the team together. So she was still celebrating.
Yeah, exactly. So we celebrated at your house.
Yep.
We, tried to celebrate her a little bit at home on her birthday as well.
Nice.
And then on Saturday night.
Okay.
We went out for her birthday as well.
Aww.
So we hardly ever go out.
Yeah, y'all don't go out much to eat.
No.
Right.
No, very, very rarely. And so we're like, okay, you need a night off.
Yeah.
And let's go out and celebrate her birthday. So we did that Saturday as well.
What kind of food?
Thai food. She picked Thai.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. Oh, we like Thai
I know
food.
you like Thai, but I didn't think, okay. Was it good?
For her, Thai or steak.
That's what I expected you to say. Yeah.
Well, that's where I initially made a reservation.
Okay.
For was at a steak place.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe Thai. I'm like, well, you pick. It's your day.
Nice.
So she went Thai. So it was good. And yes, it was very good.
And then it was an Easter weekend.
Yeah. But doing it Saturday night, it wasn't too crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. So that worked. Trying to think. I mean, that's other than the normal stuff, that's been pretty much it. Oh, you and I we emceed a banquet.
We did. That's been a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that was kind of
fun. That was very fun. I love that so much. Haven't got to do that in a while. And it just, I don't know. I love the cause. I love the Last Call for Grace ministry that is here in town. And then, of course, anytime that we get to work together and our families were there, so we got to sit with our families. Yeah. And I don't know. It was just it was a great time. I think the Lord was very present because the music was very worshipful.
Yes.
And just talking about what the Lord had been doing through that ministry and the awareness to the community, because I'm not sure a lot of people know what Last Call for Grace does. All of that was just an honor to be part of. So that was super fun. All right. I really do love that.
Now, for all of you watching, you're like, okay, so what does Last Call for Grace do?
Oh, yeah, good question.
Yeah, they feed the homeless and the near homeless, those who are potentially going to be dealing with food depravity because just income or addiction or issues or whatever. So just taking care of the least of these.
Showing up.
Yep, showing up, going to where they are, bringing them food and bringing them the gospel.
Yeah. So you can see why it's an honor to be part of something like that. That was very cool. Yeah. So some good.
What about you guys?
Yes. What have we been doing? I want to say I don't feel like we've been doing much, but now we were part of the banquet, and then we were part of her birthday because we had the team over. Our Hannah is in a show right now, so we have been going to the theater the last couple weekends, and a couple weekends ago, we went to 2 different theaters seeing live shows because we do love local theater. And then I went with her boyfriend to see her show because he had not yet been.
Okay.
This past weekend. So that was fun. Local theater is such an interesting thing. I do love local theater. I think that anybody who gives it a shot, like, applause.
Yeah.
I did not do a standing ovation for this play, but it's not because in my heart I don't applaud every single person for trying it. It takes a lot of time and moxie to get on that stage and do your thing, So I really do think even if a show doesn't come together exactly like you hope it will, then still individually, those folks have really given their best. And so that's kind of been where we've been lately, is in the theater world. And she's in another one. She's in rehearsals for another one.
When is she not?
Different theater.
Doing something with the show.
She took a while, though.
Did she?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe it was her senior year of high school because she did so much her junior year of high school.
Yeah.
And then her senior year, she did not do, I don't think, hardly anything except for school productions. She may have been in one other. And then once she got through like the first semester of her college year, because we had said, why don't you wait and see how college is going to go? And then if you think that you can handle the load, work and school and a show, then go for it. So that's what she did. But man, when she hit the on switch again, this will be her third show.
She went all in.
Within probably 4 or 5 months. So that's fun. We always enjoy watching her do her thing. And she kind of, yes, we're partial, but she kind of lights up a stage.
Yeah, she's good at it. And you can tell that she enjoys doing it.
She does.
Yeah.
She enjoys that. So that's been kind of what we've been doing. As I think about other things, we've done some things with Last Call for Grace. So, but on opposite nights of you guys.
Right.
So we don't see, or we haven't, our paths haven't crossed there. Trying to think what else we've done. Easter.
Yeah.
I love Easter.
Yeah.
Easter was great. It's a weird season for us, though. It's just different. Like by now, I'm planning a trip or going somewhere, and that's just not something we can do right now. So I've even had to cancel a trip.
Right? That was
Which
sad.
is so disappointing. I've had to cancel 2 trips. One was family emergency, so I needed to come back for that. And then the other one hadn't happened yet, but had to just look at the reality and say, no, it's not time. And that's okay. But yeah, it is disappointing.
Yeah.
I acknowledge fully that it's very disappointing.
Yeah.
So it's different season. That's all I can say.
And isn't it interesting how God allows us to go through all these sorts of different seasons? Like, I can look back over the course of my life and see how he has given seasons of, okay, you can run hard for a while, seasons of slow down, seasons of reprioritize, seasons of you're going to pour into something in this space or this direction, and then we're going to redirect. And you're going to be involved in something different, or it might be something somewhat similar, but different ministry, different organization, different whatever. So, yeah, it's just interesting to see how he kind of reshifts our focus, time, and attention sometimes.
The beautiful thing is he reminds you of his word. He reminds you of his faithfulness. The tension in your spirit is, okay, am I going to choose to believe you, Lord? Am I going to choose to follow you when it doesn't make sense? Or this is, we talk a lot about the and of life.
Yeah.
2 things can be true at the same time. You could live in sorrow and joy. You could also live in the or. You can choose to follow the Lord and all the things that he's instructing you, or you can choose your own way. And that scripture, there's a way that seems right to a man, that keeps coming back to my mind when I kind of want to start taking things in my own hands. So in his seasons, his grace is also still very evident. It's just that tension of, I told you before, like when I go to sleep at night, I sing I Surrender All. And it is still that same thing. Lord, I choose to trust you, or I sit here and argue with him and say, I think I should do this, or I think, So in the season of different experiences, it's still a faith journey.
Yeah.
And no matter what, like if things are going smoothly, it's still a faith journey.
Oh, yeah.
If things are going not so smoothly. But I'll tell you one thing that's coming. I don't know if I should tell you. Should I tell you?
Oh, yeah, you have to tell me now. You can't do that.
I over the last few weeks have had this stray thought that keeps going through my brain. Stray thought. And I thought, okay, Lord, if this is really you, I just ask you, show me how to make this happen. And I'll be switched to bet he did. So I keep having sewing going through my brain.
Okay.
Yeah, sewing. You heard me. I was having lunch with a friend the other day. We had never had lunch before. And she said, yeah, and I teach sewing at this ministry in town. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? And she said, no. I said, can anybody in the community come? She goes, oh, yeah, anybody can come. I'm like, when do you meet?
That's funny.
Isn't it?
So you are now going to be a seamstress.
I'm at least going to give it a shot.
Extra large, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. In blue?
Of course. Not pink.
Oh.
You get the pink.
I can just see making something. Listen, you might not say that out loud. I'll be coming in for your birthday going, Steve, look what I made you. You'll be like, oh, you shouldn't have.
You shouldn't have. Just like for my wife's birthday, you shouldn't have given her the picture that you gave her. So she got a picture. She got a picture of me one time laughing, like legit laughing.
Oh, you could see his uvula.
Yeah. So I'm guessing somebody was holding the camera at a funny angle because I swear, yeah, you could. You could almost see my stomach.
I know. It's hilarious.
It was bad.
And when it was taken, I said, I'm going to give this to Susie for her birthday. I'm going to blow it up. And I did.
So we walked into their house on Thursday night for this team get-together and then celebrating Susie's. The picture is hanging on the wall.
Ben did that.
And my 9-year-old turns and is like, Dad, Miss Dawn threw you under the bus. And she did. Totally did.
Such a flattering photo.
That picture needs to be disappeared. It needs to go away.
Susie tried to leave it at my house.
Yeah.
And I just graciously brought it back to her since it was for her birthday.
Yeah, thank you for that. Well, now I have the opportunity to make that thing disappear. Hey. Glad you're not disappearing, that you're still with us. Don't disappear. Hope you'll like and subscribe on whatever platform you've connected on us with. If you want to find out more about Don and Steve Plus, go check out our website. It's donandsteveplus.com. You can support the ministry. In the show notes, you'll find links to Raphael's. We're grateful for their support, and they help make this possible. So thank you to them as well. Thanks for watching. Hope you'll be our plus one next time.